Thanks for joining me. This is the Evan Knight Show. The topic tonight is the simulation theory. We have Elon Musk being celebrated by Scientific American, saying, "Congratulations, Elon, you were right about the simulation theory." I'd like to make a quick scientific observation. If you take a single photon of light and you shine it through a slit, it lands in the back on a collector, it's collected, it's a particle. If you cut a second slit, that photon now turns into a wave and goes through both slits. And on a quantum realm, on the quantum level, this creation wasn't designed by aliens or some chubby kid in the basement on a high-powered computer. We're not pawns in a computer. The reason why these experiments are changing when an intelligent observer observes them is because this is God's way of showing you that you're being observed also. The Bible tells us that God's creation speaks of Him, and that in the end times it would humble the wise. And the fool would become wise, and the wise would become a fool. And that God would use His creation to explain to people who He was. When you look at a photon of light and it changes, it's because you're not just observing God's creation, it's observing you. It's recording every one of your intentions, everything you've done, everything you've said, just like the Bible says. Your intentions matter to God. Whether or not you're pushing a little child out of the way of an oncoming bus or pushing a little child in front of a bus, God doesn't see that as just pushing a child. He sees your intention. When you're an Elon Musk, there was guys like Tucker who tried to improve on the car, and they bankrupted him. They shut him down. Well, all of a sudden they bankroll Elon Musk. And I ask myself, why are they endorsing what he did? Why are they giving him billions of dollars of loans to design a rocket a lot like NASA, except for it has a gimbal on the rocket motor, and like a drone, it's able to correct the pitch and the yaw? How come NASA didn't do that? The brightest we have didn't think of that? But then they lend him money to do it? Or improve on an electric car that was designed roughly 100 years earlier? We have a system in this world that is the opposite of what Jesus would do. What would Jesus do? Well, they do the opposite. They try to dishonor God, war against people, and be unbelievably selfish in everything they could do. So the powers that be endorsed Elon Musk. Why? Because he wants to change your carbon-based DNA into a silica-based. He wants to put a chip in your brain and make you a transhuman being. Just like in the day of Noah, in Genesis 6, the Bible tells us that fallen angels, fallen entities, had sex with earth women and had mutant kids, and giants. They then intermingled within animals like you see in the hieroglyphics in the different, different civilizations and in their writings and in their pictures that they put on their stones. It's part bird, part human. Transhumanism is coming back full circle. You've been lied to. That's what it's all about. We aren't evolving from apes into people. We were created by God, very advanced, and we're actually becoming smaller and weaker and stupider. So we're de-evolving, and we're back now to transhumanism. So the reason why Elon Musk has got the loans is because he's a transhumanist. I can show you the video of his girlfriend or wife, Grimy, saying that her greatest joy would be if an artificial intelligence created a totalitarian worldwide government. That's why Elon got his loans. That's what the book of Revelation tells us would happen in the end times. And when somebody says it's the end times, they always said that and they were wrong. The Bible tells you that when you see Israel be destroyed in 70 AD by the Romans, that it would eventually come back. Well, it did roughly 1,900 years later in 1948. We are living in the end times. You are living in an hour and a time that matters. So when you see these terrible things happen, think, what would Jesus do? And try to do that. Try to follow Christ. Don't follow an evil, fallen, perverted world. The simulation theory is another attempt to explain away God. Everything you're seeing is God. The Big Bang, the universe came out of nothing. Came into being just like God said. He spoke it into being. You think that everything could be smashed into the size of a pin, a million times smaller than a pin? Everything you see, come on. You're having the wool pulled over your eyes. You're getting treated like a child. So, wake up. This is the Evan Knight Show. You're going to have to wear a thinking cap because this is where we're going. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.